Good day everyone, I am Mylene Heronka, 3E2B is Criminology, and my topic is all about drugs. First of all, what is drugs? Drugs is a chemical substance that brings about physical, physiological, behavioral, and psychological changes to the person who's taking it. We all know that all medicines are considered drugs, but not all drugs are medicine drugs. There's two types of drugs. The first one is medicinal drugs. It is a substance which when taken into the human body, it cures the illnesses, signs, symptoms, and the diseases. The other one is dangerous drugs. It is a substance affecting the nervous system which when taken into the human body, it affects or change the physical, emotional, and behavior of a person. Classification of drugs according to the origin. There's a two types. The first one is natural. It contains the metabolic products of plants and other living system but may be isolated or extracted. For example of this is the raw opium or the marijuana. The second one is synthetic. It is artificially produced by the laboratory for the illicit of markets. It is wholly manufactured. And for example of this is the barbiturates and methamphetamine. According to the international classifications, there's a two substances. The first one is narcotic substance. It is the substance wherein it affects the brain or also known as opioid. For example of this is the illicit drugs, heroin, and pharmaceutical drugs like oxycodone, becodine, codeine, morphine, methadone, and fentanyl. The second one is psychotropic substances. It is a chemical substance that changes the nervous system function and result into a alteration of perception, mood, consciousness, cognition, or behavior. For example of this is alcohol, caffeine, cocaine, heroin, and the psychotropic substances is also called psychoactive substances. Designer drugs. Designer drugs, these are the drugs are illicitly produced with the intent of developing substances that differ slightly from the controlled substances in their chemical structure while retaining their pharmacological effects. These substances are commonly known as designer drugs and fall under the several drugs categories like bath salts, synthetic marijuana, synthetic hallucinogens are example of designer drugs. According to the pharmacological classification, there's a four. The first one is stimulants, second, hallucinogens, third, depressants, and the last is inhalants. When we say stimulants, it is drugs which increase alertness of physical disposition. For example of this is shabu. The second one is hallucinogens, drugs which affect sensation, thinking, self-awareness, and emotion. For example is the ecstasy or LSD. When we say depressants, it is a drugs wherein it lowers the central nervous system. There's a three types of depressant. The first one is narcotics. It affects to induce the sleep or stupor and relieve pain. Opium, opiates, and etc. The second one is tranquilizers. It reduces the anxiety, ease tension, and relax the muscles. The last one is sedatives and hypnotics. It reduces the tension and induce sleep. And the last one classification is the inhalants. It is any solid, liquid, or mixed substances that contains a toxics. Maybe it is easy to evaporate. For example of this is the paint, thinner, naphthalene, and etc. And that's all. Thank you.